Asperkinesis. This looks interesting. I'm interested to see how the animations when she throws trees, if it's like, because it looks like Tron, right? Kind of reminds you of Tron, the movie, with the rings and stuff. If you throw rings, or if you still throw, we'll see. Velocity Scout, looks decent. Some kind of samurai. Angel Prisoner. Okay. Very disturbing. This right here is moving all the time. I'm not really sure what he's hiding under there, but okay. Very disturbing. Deep Sea Riptide. Ooh, that looks cool. That actually looks really cool. September 9. Alright, let's see. We don't care about this. Here we go. Tsunami Charge. Now grabs... What? What? That's sick. I personally don't feel like Kraken needs a buff. I think Kraken is a great hero, but this is not that big of a... Well, it is a big buff, because you're not always going to be able to charge multiple people. But this is really cool. They'll be able to charge multiple people. This might make for big plays if you manage to get like 2 or 3 people and then ulti on top of them. It's actually pretty interesting. It will make Kraken a lot stronger. It doesn't seem like a big buff, I mean, at a glance, but it is, because if people ever line up, you'll get an instant 2 stun, 2 ulti on top of them. Very interesting change. Prison Break cannot be boosted by staff. Alright. What the f... So you like toss it? Toss. Alright. I still don't see... I don't think this is going to impact too much. I don't know the actual numbers, of course. I guess we'll see those when we press down, but... like, I don't think staff will be an item on Prisoner. You always want to get the PK, you always want to get the Shrunken, and I think that's like what everyone will be going for in the start of the game no matter what. So I don't think this will be... have you watched One Punch Man? I don't watch anime or stuff like that, so no, I have not. These amateurs are all from an anime. Oh. My bad. I don't watch anime or cartoons or anything like that, so I didn't know that. My bad. My bad. Alright, I don't think this will be viable regardless, because like I said, you always need those items, but I haven't seen the numbers. We'll see when we go down here. Attack range lower from 450 to 400. I'm personally not a huge fan of artillery in general. I've argued why before. With the long range, not getting experience from kills and stuff like that, and experience with creeps. You're always under-leveled, and overall it's a pretty stupid concept of a hero in my opinion. This range will make him a little bit less, like, have to be closer to creeps in lane, and will make the usefulness of your machine gun or whatever, like, more viable. You need to use it more frequently. So this nerf is fine. I don't have many comments on it. Kelp Zone boosted by staff. We already have that. Tether break damage increased and duration increased from 5 to 7 seconds. Holy shit. That's a huge buff. And keep in mind this actually goes through Shrunken Head when they implemented the Staff of the Master. So it's a very good item late game against carries that need mobility because they're forced to be inside of it in 7 seconds. That's a very long time, and increased damage. Doubled the damage actually. The damage part won't be that big of a factor because you won't get a Staff and Bubbles until PK Tablet, Hellflower Sheep or whatever. It will be a very late game item, but it's still a decent late game item to get. So yeah, this is decent, good buff. Might see some more Staff of the Masters late game now, we'll see. The problem is the public most often goes by the numbers and not by the usefulness of the item, so I feel like this is more of a, like, hey, there's a Staff for Bubbles kind of change, but it still will have some sort of impact. I mean, 400 damage is still a lot of, if you manage to catch 3 or 4 heroes, like, that's 1600 damage, which is a lot in the end. Alright, so Prisoner. Passively grants 15, 20, 30, 50% base 30% base damage. Against 10% base damage, every visible hero. Whoa. That's a lot of damage. Before, this ability was, of course, that whenever you used an ability, you gained some damage during the cooldown of the ability, and the more abilities you used, the more damage you had. This will basically make him a like, this is going to be a 1 point, level 1. You're going to skill this level 1 for sure when you're mid lane. Give you some extra last hits, more damage, and like kind of like a Deadwood in a sense. And then the more heroes are here, the more base damage you do. So you're gonna hit like a truck. Imagine this level 16, you have 30% base damage, and then you get another 30%, like, a lot of damage, man. Alright, so let's see here. Changes the ability to not target enemies, performs the full effect ability originating from the target. 1200 cast range projectile takes 1 second to reach the target, also applies the current level of Shackled. In addition, increases the radius and break range of the ability by 100. Can still be activated instantly if used on self. Okay. Yep, no, I still don't see it being that viable. I still feel like you want to go the PK Shrunken route into Insanitarius and Demonic and all of those items. I don't see a reason to pick up Staff over that. Maybe if you're with a Flux and Flux PKs in an ultis and you like whooshoo, throws it out and catches them all, but I don't know. I don't see it being very useful. Marksman Shot, channel time reduced to a flat 1.5. That's a very big buff. Like the problem, well, not the problem, but Marksman Shot in its current state was very hard to get off level 6 and level 11, but now with 1.5 seconds, you'll actually be able to get it off in every single level, so it will be more useful all over the game. Can now be used, boosted by Staff of the Master. Using the skill when art moves stealth, range increases free, fast, and after you can enter the game without free charge it them. Alright, this is fun and all. I like that they're implementing more Staff of the Masters into the game, because we don't have a lot of staffs in HoN compared to Dota. So I think that's fun, but I don't see anyone ever picking this up over other items. It's just not happening. Like, why would you ever pay 4,200 gold when you can just get a PK, blink in, and hit people? Like, it's I don't see it being picked up, but I'll still try it in the game, of course. This is all theoretical. Berserker, primary activation now restrains the target for the duration. Oh, okay. The damage to creeps is now instant instead of over time. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. We'll see how this works out. Overall, decent, very tiny but decent buffs. We'll see how it works out. Don't have much to comment on that. Base armor reduced from 4.1 to 3.1 will make it harder to jungle, of course. 1 armor less in the early game is actually very significant and more than people might realize. Let's see what I missed in chat. Are you going to play? As soon as we're done with this patch, we're going to be playing straight away, yes. Magic armor reduced from 5.5 to 4.5. So considering how slippery this hero is, when you actually get to catch him, you'll deal more damage to him, both physically and magically, and I think that's a fine change. So, decent nerfs, no comment. Does make it jungling a little bit harder, but yeah. Maximum charge increase from 20, 25, 30, 35, 25, 35, 30, 40. This is a tiny buff, more a visibility buff, like, hey, Gauntlet is here, he's a decent hero, we should pick him. He is a decent hero if you know how to play him, and I feel like this is more a visibility buff. Will be a little bit of a change, but not much. Don't think about it too much. Crystal Field, our radius increased from 300 to 350, very big buff. 50 radius is not to be played with, and the problem with Geo has always been his ultimate. He's always been very lackluster compared to Magma's ultimate, because Magma's hits everyone. Geomancer had a hard time hitting, needed to be comboed with other heroes, or just perfectly placed. So, decent buff will probably be a lot harder now for people to escape when you queue into ultimate. So I'd say that's a decent change. But Geo is very strong, and don't underestimate the hero. No longer procs to cliff collision damage more than once, so it's nice to target cliff at multiple points, and... So a bug, kind of ish. What the fuck do you want? No, I'm not restarting my computer right now. Shadow's attack time and attack rate increased from 900 ms to 300. Shadow's life increased from 4.5 to 567. Shadow attacks not pierced to flay. Damage block, my buttons as the movement speed of Shadows increased. This is a very big buff. Sometimes when you played Grinex and you pressed R, your illusions weren't able to catch up in time, and over the time and not get a lot of auto attacks in. And now that it's 300 ms and it's over 5, 6, 7 seconds, this is yeah, this is a big buff. I definitely want to see how this works out. Might make Grinex viable again in the offlane, and yeah, that's definitely decent. Definitely decent. We'll see how that works out. Kraken can now grab multiple enemy heroes and Splash a little bit return to its old state. Not that big of a buff, but still tiny. More of a visibility buff as well, I think, or like tweaking the numbers a little bit. But this will be very interesting if you get to catch 2 or 3 heroes and then ulting on top. That will be sick. So we'll see how this works out. Definitely interesting. Unkillable death base duration decreased from 8 seconds to 4 seconds. Thank God, fuck you, Staff Madman. Unkillable death duration extension from killing real enemies increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Very good nerf slash buff. The item has been very insane recently. Like, you got Basher, Elder Parasite, and Shieldbreaker. You killed one hero, and then you just kept running after everyone and killing everyone. It was ridiculous, man. Like, Staff Madman with Shieldbreaker and Basher. Ridiculous. Good nerf. Definitely like it, and we'll make it more of a like niche pickup now. Panda, cooldown charge decreased from 4 seconds to 3. As you guys know, I'm a real fan of Panda. I picked it for Mickey multiple times, both in... We actually won our third game to go to Thailand, to the World Finals, with Pandemonium. So, or was it the third game? Second game, maybe? In either case, we won with Panda in the biggest game of the year for us in NAEU. I love this hero. I think it's very viable, both in dual mid, both as solo, both in long lane. It fits very, like, everywhere. And nerfs to him is very appreciated. Sorry, buffs to him is very appreciated from me. gets more people to realize how good Panda is of a hero. And yeah, no, very welcome to me. Very welcome to me. We have already talked about now applies on time towards. Oh, that's really good. We talked about Predator multiple times on my stream. I'm a fan of the hero per se. I like what the hero wants to do. It deals more damage to higher targets, like life steals a lot. Sorry, it's a decent. It's a decent design of a hero. But the problem is that he gets hard countered by Void Talisman, and Predator kind of needs Elder Parasite, Insanitarius, Shieldbreaker, whatever build you want to go, you always need to get Elder Parasite and Insanitarius pretty much, and he needs a lot of items, and the problem is you can't really get a Harkon's Blade. It doesn't fit with the hero, because you either want to get the Frostburn build or you want to get the Shieldbreaker build. Both builds are viable, but both of them are attack modifiers, and you never want to go Harkon's or Pred. It's just not a good item on the hero, and it doesn't fit very well with you because the ultimate lowers armor, which of course fits very well with the slow and extra attack speed from Frostburn, or the extra minus armor from Shieldbreaker. So the hero, that's why the hero is never picked. It's just too big of a physical hero, has no magic damage whatsoever. Well, the Q, but it doesn't count. So I do think this is a good step in the right direction, because the problem is also that he needs 4 attacks to attack someone, but it was too OP before when it was only 3 attacks. He's on 3 attacks, 1, 2, 3, and now you're dead. 4 attacks was too many, 3 attacks was too little. So doing it this way, where you get an extra attack from your Q, will allow you to have those 3 attacks in the same target that you leap on, but not on everyone, which I think is a very good way of doing it. So I like the way of changing the ability here, because like I said, I think 3 attacks is OP, I think 4 attacks is too much. But if you have to leap on them to get that extra attack, I think that makes sense. And making it 3 attacks then is fine, because then you leap, you hit him 3 times, you get your buff, and then you still need to hit the second target 4 times or leap at him. So I think this is a very good way of doing it, and I like this small increase in damage from E as well. But it is a strong hero, it just gets too hard countered by Void Talismans, and I think this is a good buff to the ultimate as well. So yeah, no, decent change on both ways, but still a hard hero to fit in because of the Void Talismans. But definitely a step in the right direction. Anything, when does this patch come? In 1 week, I think. The 1st of September, if I'm not mistaken. Let's make it 3.5 attacks then. Capo. Alright, cooldown reduced from 140, 120, 100 to 121, 590. Good. One problem with Prophet is the fact that his ultimate has a very, very long cooldown. Before, he had multiple charges, which was pretty OP, which is why it was changed. Now it gets a little bit of a buff. Definitely a step in the right direction. Good change overall. Minimum charge amount increased from 15 to 20 charge per hit, increased from 5 to 6. Interesting. I mean, Ravenor has not been a very popular hero in TMM recently, or in any EU, but it's picked in Thailand all the time, and it absolutely dominates. I've seen many games from Lord Michael, where he's been absolutely crushing everyone with this hero, so personally, don't really feel like it needs a buff or a nerf. I think the hero was in a perfectly fine state, and I don't agree with this. This will make his ulti pop even faster, of course, and get more charges, and I just don't see that as a necessity. So I disagree with this one. I think Ravenor was fine before and did not need this buff. Sandwraith, base armor decreased from 3.3 to 2. Illusions receive damage multiplier increased from 200 to 50%. Sandwraith, a very popular and good hero now for a very long time. Mock Restoration Stone. Lowering his armor to make him a little bit worse in lane, so he's worse in 1v1s, in tri-lane setup lineups, in course. Is a good idea, I think, and it also allows the off lane to harass him a little bit more. But in the end, he will always have a support in his lane, well, 9 out of 10 times. And I don't think the armor will make that much of a change in the early game, which I feel like this is targeted to. But it will still nerf him in a 1v1 matchup. As for the illusions, I guess this will make them more easily susceptible to AoE damage, but at the end of the day, Sandwraith counters AoE damage because you counter all the blinks, and heroes won't be able to blink in and get their ultimates off and essentially kill the illusion. So I'm not sure if it's going to be that big of a deal, but still think it's fine nerfs in general. Sandwraith is technically balanced, maybe a little bit stronger, on the strong side. So getting him a small nerf like this will not make that big of a difference, but it's still fine. I feel like it's not that big of a deal, except in 1v1s. I'm okay with this change. Not much to comment on it. Alright, here's the big one. The rework on Riptide. Grimar is back. I know, it's coming right here. Chill. Okay. Ooh. Primary attribute changed to agility. Base armor increased from 0.5 to 3. Base damage increased from 22, 27 to 26, 30. Base attack roll increased from 1.7 to 1.9. Starting strength. I'm not gonna read that out. You guys can read it yourself. Base move speed from 295 to 280. That's interesting. Okay, so agility here on now. Watery Grave. Silence removed. Now slows enemy movement and attacks by 50% for 2.5 seconds and deals free 6 damage regardless of water conditions. Holy shit. That's interesting. Isn't that... What's that Dota hero called? Morphers? Morphling? Isn't that Morphling's Q? That feels like a Dota spell to me. I might be very wrong. But that feels like a Dota spell to me. Anyway, this is very interesting. 50%, and it's not over time, it's instant, and it lasts for the full duration. So that's a very strong ability. Deals a lot of damage regardless of water conditions, as you can see, but no silence. And it's a projectile now. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, target location should transform into a tile away, becoming invulnerable and disjointing Riptide. Upon reaching the location, creates a 350 radius puddle that grants clearation up to 2 pulls will remain on the ground indefinitely. When away falls pathfinding but goes through and destroys trees. When the puddle is created, it silences the enemy within range for 2, 300 cut. Isn't this Morphling as well? Am I being stupid, or is these spells both not Morphling? I'm pretty sure this is Morphling. Either way, so the silence has been moved from Q to W. Silences for 2 to 3.5 seconds. So basically the Q has been split into 2 abilities. Deals more damage regardless of water conditions. Silences for the same amount of time, but this does not deal damage. That's the biggest point here. This ability does not deal damage anymore to W. Does give clear vision in a 350 radius puddle. You can have 2 on the same ground, and it goes through and destroys trees. Interesting. And is this not Morphling, guys? Yeah. Pretty sure this is Morphling. Alright, I was corrected. Night Stalker? It's Night Stalker. Oh. Either way, I do recognize both of these abilities straight away, and I don't even play Dota. When on water, Riptide passively gains 15, 30, 45, 60 agility. This is 1 damage per agility, plus attack speed, plus armor, just for those of you guys who aren't aware. So you basically have 60 extra damage, just like before. Except it's in agility this time, which basically means armor, attack speed, and damage. 1 point of agility is more worth than 1 point of damage. Obviously, but just to make it clear. You also gain 60 movement speed, movement speed according to the agility, as well as unit walking. Lingers for 3 seconds, no other effects. So it's only on water. Okay. So this is still a water-only effect, and you can turn on and off unit walking by using the ability. Okay. Interesting, interesting. So E is pretty much the same as before, except it now has unit walking as well. Alright, okay. No, wait, no, I'm stupid. Wait. Now it has a 160, 121, 87 cooldown, 0 mana card. Upon use, starts to rain that covers the entire map in water for 30 seconds. That gives Riptide and Alice with 12 mana range. Bonus damage equal to 20, 30, 40% of Riptide still in 30 moves. Holy shit! That seems very OP, doesn't it? 160, 120, 0 mana cost. Rain that covers the entire map. Old Riptide ulti when you just cover the entire map in water. Everyone within 1200 range is bonus damage equal to 40% of Riptide's agility. You get 60 from this alone. And 30 bonus movement speed. So let's say we have 100 agility. We gave 40 damage to everyone in 1200 range. And they also get 30 bonus movement speed. That's interesting. Seems very, very strong. But I don't want to be like that, but didn't we just get a hero that does this exact same thing? You know, Icor's ultimate, give everyone around you attack speed, and this is just damage instead of attack speed? Or am I being silly? You know? But yeah, the ulti seems very, very strong with E, because obviously you will have E permanently for 30 seconds when you cover the entire map in water, just like before. You'll also be... Wait, you're not Invis anymore, right? No, you're not Invis anymore. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, no, like, you're not Invis anymore, so I guess that's kind of balanced, and you can still be spotted by wards. But yeah, this ulti is very strong, seems very viable, and a good team ability in general. I'm definitely interested to see how this hero will work. Looking at the numbers alone, the hero looks balanced slash very strong, like slash strong. It could be very OP, but it doesn't look completely overpowered just looking at it, because the W doesn't deal any damage, you don't have that much burst, but you still have your E and Q. Like,
Scout him and rout him.
Oh, Askarim, thank you very much for 18 months to 7. Appreciate that a lot, dude. Thank you. Keep in mind, though, you have base movement speed very low, but you do get extra movement speed from your E. But you still need 2 points in E to get to a normal... Well, 1 point in E to get to a normal move speed, so... probably a Ghost March to 0. But yeah, okay. Now, this hero, the rework looks interesting. It's a mix between, well, apparently Night Stalker and Morphling, and then Old Riptide. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. No, interesting hero. We'll see how it works out. It looks interesting. Looking forward to playing it. Either balanced or very strong. And that's a really stupid way of saying it, but I don't know how much impact this ulti is going to have, which is why I'm not putting it at OP, because it kind of seems very strong, but we'll see. Okay, items. Grimoire Power. The bonus spell damage lowered from 20% to 15%. The bonus 15% spell damage is now passive. Now, I want to make something very clear. The reason people picked up Grimoire Power before was because of the AoE damage and the bonus spell damage, because the AoE allowed the heroes that weren't able to farm the ability to actually farm. So you had heroes like Kinesis, for example, that got all of his damage increased, and at the same time he could farm neutrals because he had an AoE dot on everything, right? That made the item very good. So this item right here, even though they buffed it now, and it's passive, which is a very good way of doing it, it's not going to be picked up on every hero, because it still doesn't have that AoE dot, it still doesn't have that way of doing tons of, like, helping you farm. This is simply to increase your damage and nothing else, which makes this item very good on heroes like Doctor Repulsor. You will get 15% increased on your Q, your E, your ulti. So Grimoire can now be picked up on Doctor again, because he already has farming abilities. He already has that, what he needs, and 15% increase on damage is very good. So Grimoire will be picked up on heroes like Doctor. However, keep in mind, as I'm saying, the item was picked up because of the spell damage and the AoE dot. This does not make the item insane like before. It makes it better, but not insane, and it will not be picked up as much as it was before. Very important to note. You will still not pick it up on heroes like Pyromancer, maybe late game, but you'll, like, a sheep is still better than this now, because it still does not give you that extra farming ability. So an early Grimoire on a Pyro is not better than an early sheep on a Pyro, because they're almost the same amount of gold, and the sheep provides you 3.5 seconds lockdown, which is more damage than 15% extra on all your abilities. Actually, it's not, but technically the disable is more damage because they can't stun you back, and you get the point. So, good direction, but I don't see the item being picked up as much as before. Hopefully that's not what they want to do it, though. They just want to make the item viable and pickable again, and now the item is viable and pickable again, but I still don't see we'll see as big of an influx as before. Thunderclaw. Attack speed increased from 25 to 40. This item is still garbage, no one's gonna buy it. That's a great review. For real though. This item is still not worth it, don't buy it. The only hero you might consider buying it on is heroes like Master of Arms. Nothing else. The item has no upgrade. It's a 3,000 gold, 500 gold item, sorry, 3,500 gold item that gives you a little bit of increased farming. It's not worth it. Don't pick this item up. As a tip to all of you guys out there, it doesn't matter what hero you are, this item sucks. End of story. Needs an upgrade, otherwise not worth buying. Alright, I guess that was everything we can see so far from 3.9.9. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the upcoming patch. I think it's released in 1 week on next Tuesday, or Wednesday, sorry, or Tuesday. Either way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and check out my Twitch channel where I'm live streaming this, of course, and everything else. So yeah, peace out YouTube, and back to my stream.